EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Martinger with your outlook for September 13th, 2019 for your Friday. High pressure, strong high pressure at that, is going to be in the Gulf of Maine. Whenever we have that happen, it is always an onshore flow, so that means more clouds than sun is expected today. Some areas might get into partly to mostly cloudy skies at times this afternoon, but I think largely most of us are starting off mostly cloudy this morning. Again, you do have some breaks in the action a little bit at some points for some, so it's not going to be completely overcast for the entire day in all areas. Some areas it will, others not, and it's just going to be a result of this high pressure being here and giving this onshore flow with the clockwise flow around high pressure, bringing that onshore wind and marine influence. So no precipitation today, though. It will be dry. Here's a look at the NAM high-res future simulated satellite, and this is looking at early in the morning at 8 o'clock in the morning. You see most of the areas under the influence of mostly cloudy skies, and throughout the morning there is some indication for some areas anyway. It looks like Lehigh Valley, parts of northeast PA, northern New Jersey might get a little bit more in the way of sun. Maybe. It's going to depend on where that onshore flow is most prominent, and that looks like it's the NAM wants to take this a little bit further south with these clouds here and bring the onshore influence down there. But I do think later in the day we will start turning mostly cloudy again once we get to the evening, and that will remain that way overnight. We're pretty much mostly cloudy straight through Saturday, and Saturday's another cloud-dominated day as well with a frontal boundary moving through. So we'll have that on Saturday, but this front is not going to be that big of a deal. I mean, you're going to have some straight isolated showers moving in here with this. Not a lot of precipitation with this. We talked about this throughout the week, how the models were kind of trending away from any heavier showers or storms. I don't think you're dealing with thunderstorms. It should just be showers, but it would just be very few and far in between and intermittent at best. So it does not look like it's a washout here for any plans you may have here on Saturday. But this front moves through, and it is much better here on the other side here for Sunday. A tropical system here forecast by some models to be affecting or very close to the Florida Peninsula again. This is not a repeat of what we had with Dorian because it's not nearly as strong. But we have to keep an eye on this because this might get stuck under this ridge that's going to build here. I'm going to show you in a little bit. And might kind of meander around here for a few days if it does not head inland or over the Gulf. So there's still a lot of questions of where this goes, and most modeling is suggesting that it's mainly a weaker system that crosses Florida and then into maybe the Gulf of Mexico area, maybe, but it might just steer clear of Florida as well and just start doing almost a similar track to what Dorian did. Again, not as strong, that's just a possibility. Way too far out to be even talking about this. I was very hesitant to even bring this up, but since it's here on the map, I can't completely ignore it. So we're not at the point where we would be projecting anything just yet. So just continue to follow along, and we'll give you updates as they become available and things start narrowing down. Now here is the NAM high-res future simulated radar for Saturday, and we have a few spotty showers here. And again, this is just going to be an isolated spotty type deal. It looks like it wants to pick on northeast PA for the best chance for that. Elsewhere, you can still get a spotty shower isolated throughout the day and maybe all the way up into the evening until that front completely moves through. So just keep that in mind here for Saturday. Not a total washout, just very light stuff, very brief, very nuisance-like, and very hit or miss. So not everywhere will see showers, and the ones that do might not be that impressive or show-stopping, so to speak. So once we get past that system, again, we're going to turn partly to mostly sunny here on Sunday. Beautiful day. Just a little bit warmer, though. We're going to get into the 80s, back into the 80s again. So today is going to be very cool with that onshore flow and those clouds. The temperatures are going to be generally in the lower 70s for most areas. 70 to 74-ish across the region, from north to south, somewhere like that. Some areas might even not get out of the 60s today in the far northern areas. But it does warm up a little bit on Saturday, but you're still mostly cloudy, maybe closer to the 80-degree mark, and then we get into the 80s here on Sunday with these temperatures and the sun expected. And then we have mostly sunny skies expected here on Monday and Tuesday. Strong high pressure is going to be up to the north here. This is now looking at Tuesday. Very strong high pressure sitting up here. So this is blocking whatever this is going to be, and keeping it from coming up to the north. But this eventually will retreat. And this is where the modeling gets a little crazy. Now you're looking at a time period that is unrealistic to actually forecast, and this is assuming it doesn't go across Florida or make landfall somewhere here and get shredded apart or go into the Gulf of Mexico. If it does come up on the east side of Florida, there's this big ridge here that's kind of blocking its forward advance. So it might hang out here for a couple days if in fact it does. make a track east of Florida, and that might does not come up to our area. Maybe comes up at that high pressure gets out of the way toward the end of the week. But this is looking at Wednesday, still mostly sunny across the region. Here's Thursday starting to come up a little bit, so we do have to keep an eye on this for our local vested interests here in the shore points, especially of New Jersey, Delaware, and Maryland. But right now, don't latch onto this idea and think this is going to be the solution. Again, it could just be a weak wave that goes right across Florida. If this were to be named, it would be Umberto. That's with an H. It moves across. If it moves across Florida and ends up in the Gulf, that would be a completely different story. Some models are indicating that still, so we have a long way to go with this. So just keep following along with the daily forecast videos, and as soon as we get new information and a better idea of where it may or may not go, we'll let you know. I'm EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Martich. That is your outlook for September 13th, 2019. Have a great Friday.